What's up, guys? Welcome back to Fit O'Clock, whereby we create a community for men to relate your issues to and also to learn along the way. So today we have my friend Gerald and Andrew, a therapist, mental health therapist for 5 years. So again, we will talk about more things on mental issues. All right. So today's topic of the day is how do men deal with anger issues, or how do you manage your anger better? Because we all know that. Men, right, have a problem with anger, okay?
They're angry gender.
Yeah, we are all like angry at something sometimes, okay? But the thing is, anger actually, derails you from a lot of things. And if you can manage your anger better and be more good natured, right, you can achieve a lot more things better, okay? So, as usual, I will start off with this thing, okay? I think being angry is like I say, we all know it's a feeling. And we should actually internalize this feeling, okay? Like what we have discussed just now, right? You have to find the origin of your anger. Like, why are you even angry about? Is it your problem, or is it the other people's problem? But I think most of the time it's your own problem. Yeah, because, okay, to be honest, right, you cannot control what other people are doing.
Yeah.
But you for sure can control what you are thinking, what you're doing, and what you're feeling. So to be a better person, right, to not get angry for your own sake, right? You have to control your own so-called like emotions and stuff like that. Because to be honest, when you're angry, right, what does it do for you? Nothing, to be honest. You feel like your heart, your blood boiling, your high pressure, you feel like your head's gonna explode and everything. I've been through that. I think you both have been through that, okay? Then what does it do for you in the end? Nothing. And you don't solve the issue. Yeah, like you argue with someone, you argue with your girlfriend, whatever, you don't solve the issue. Yeah. So I think to me, right, when someone provokes you or there's a problem existing, you should be stoic about it. But what I mean by stoic is that you understand the problem, what did the person say to you, you process it in your brain and think what you should do with it instead of reacting to it. You know, like we react as in like if he says something back to me, I'll be like, jibai, fuck you lah. After I jibai, fuck you, then what's next?
Yeah.
Then he also jibai fuck me back lah. Then after that, we both fuck each other. Then what's next, right?
Yeah.
So that's nothing. Okay, so this is why I think you should, as a man, you should be stoic. Okay, go look up the dictionary what stoic means. Okay, yeah, but I already explained that just now. Okay, so you should be stoic in every situation. I know it's very difficult. It's difficult for me as well, but I'm trying to learn this very good trait lah. Okay, so that you can be able to handle any situation at any point of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess like. You can talk a bit about anger issues. Like,
Sure.
do you think men have a more prevalent problem on this thing? Yeah, is it more men or more women?
Yeah. Okay. I think before that, just want to bring up this point that you said just now, right? Like how we can control our thoughts, feelings, and behavior, right? Actually, I come from a different school of thought. For myself, right, I don't believe you can actually control the thoughts that comes in your head or the feelings that you feel, because both of them are very intuitive. It happens in a very split second. Right? But what you can control is how you react to those thoughts that comes in your head,
Correct.
how you react to your feelings, and most importantly, how you choose to act out from there, which is your behavior.
Right.
So you see the difference in that, right? So if you take that into consideration, right, then is it normal to feel angry?
Yes. Yes, I
It's,
agree.
right? It makes sense to feel angry because a lot of time, if you look at it from like, even like from a very scientific perspective or what, men tend to be maybe more angry because if you look at during caveman time, right, what we used to do is men used to be the one who go around hunting,
Correct.
Women are the one who used to go around like at the point of time protecting the family.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you're going around hunting at a point of time, you need to have some level of aggression.
Correct.
You can't go around hunting like, on the poke you like that, right?
Please
That's
die
an
for
animal,
me.
either you get killed or it's going to kill. I mean, like either you kill or you get killed
Yeah.
with that animal right there.
Okay.
So actually, a lot of time men also are, a bit more on the aggressive side or whatsoever, come from, maybe biologically. That's how we were as well.
Because of our testosterone, is it?
I don't know about that part. But I assume maybe it would be. There might be some linkages. But I think it's kind of like the fact that how we grew up, right? Even from last time, it has always been that there's competition.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
That between men, there is like things like, you need to hunt. You need to kind of like be the one who's leading the pack. All these, societal norms or how we grew up have always been there. So most of the time, I think men only know one emotion the best, which is anger. Because that was the emotion that most of us grew up under. And that was the emotion that maybe not to say all our fathers are bad, but
Yeah.
that's the emotion most of our fathers and grandfathers actually
True.
showcase.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
What emotion do you see from our our elder generation most of the time? It's anger between the men. You
Correct,
don't see that
correct,
many
that's
people
true.
actually talking about any other thing.
Yeah.
So that becomes our first, point of
Go-to.
emotion, right?
Yeah.
So that you'd be like, oh, what emotion do I know sufficiently and well? Anger, lor. Why?
Okay.
Because every other male figure in my life showed me that what.
Correct.
So that's the one thing I'm going to learn best, lah. Anger, lah. So how do I respond to most situation in life?
Correct.
Anger, lah.
Yeah, I think to be honest, our previous generation, like our dads, right, the most of the time they were angry. Yeah, like if we did something wrong, it's just anger, like straight away.
Yeah.
That's what I learned from them. Like if I have a kid, right, I'll be angry lah, but I will tell them off, right, in like a more assertive way, like a tone, and then let them understand what did they do wrong. Because
Yeah.
usually we get beaten up, not knowing what we do wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just like like that. Then this is why you get hit.
Yeah.
Because you did this. But why? We don't understand. So I
Correct.
think that's a very important thing. Okay, so another thing I want to bring up, right, is that I think nowadays, the current era, people are more encouraging in some sense that men should show their feelings. Okay? So I think there's a very big difference between showing feelings and being emotional about how you feel. I'll give an example, okay?
Yeah.
So showing my feeling is like, let's say if Gerald said something bad to me, he's my friend lah, okay? Then I'll say like, hey Gerald, I think whatever you said just now is not cool, man. Yeah. I think like why is it not cool? And then how we should do about it. Then I'll just like, okay, fuck it, and then move it. Move along, right? Being emotional is like, as usual just now I'll be like, fuck you, like why you say this? I don't friend you anymore.
Or you don't even talk to me anymore.
Yeah,
Or you-
correct. Yeah.
Or you unfollow me on Instagram.
Correct,
like,
yeah.
All these kind of
All these things, yeah. So that's being emotional. Like, you are not solving the issue, right? So what do you think about like showing feelings versus being emotional as a man?
Okay, I think as a man, if a bro like Jason comes up to me, right, and tell me that, hey, there was something that you said that day in the gym that I don't like, I would respect Jason a lot more because he's able to be honest with me and tell me how it feels, and I know how difficult that is.
Okay, yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
So that's my opinion of how I think men can really change the way they bring themselves to people.
You mean the
Yeah.
person who got sick lah?
If you are able to express like you, if you're able to express to me, right,
My displeasure in a
your
good way.
yeah, in a respectful way, right,
Yeah, yeah.
I will respect you a lot more, man.
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah. What do you think?
I think a lot of us again, we do not know how to talk about feelings, right? So we do not know how to. So we only know how to express anger. We do not know how to have conflict resolution. We do not know how to talk about our conflicts. We do not know how to express my feeling of anger or my feeling of sadness in a way where I can express to you and not put you down. Right?
Yeah.
Because what we thought is, if I'm feeling negative, anger, sadness,
boom.
I'm just gonna explode.
Yeah.
Because that's what I see, that's what I know, ma.
Yeah.
So there's no control over it, right?
Correct.
But we do not know how to communicate.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we were not taught. Because we didn't see people
That's
doing
very
that.
true.
Or,
That's very
or we
true.
might even think that, it's too long-winded or it's too, for lack of better term, like too gay or something like that. And people might say such things, but it's actually communication skills lah.
Right.
Like, can you actually feel a particular way and still communicate in a way where your point gets across lah?
Yeah.
Or am I going to seem like an angry ape just beating my chest?
Yeah, I think most people do that, because I think they don't think through, and because they don't see like a consequence, like an immediate consequence after whatever they say or express or actions. Right? If I like, just shout at you or whatever, at that moment I feel good because
Yeah.
I express my emotions out.
Correct.
But not my feelings, to be honest. Because did I tell you why am I angry or whatever? I didn't. I basically just shouted at you.
Yeah.
Or my girlfriend or whatsoever. So that didn't solve anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then probably just being like swept under the carpet and then that's it. And then you will just resurface again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just now, Jason talked about being stoic. So when you get angry, and you had a point that it's natural for us to have all these kind of feelings, being angry.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so from a practical standpoint, right, can you tell us how, or maybe some of the steps?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm angry by something.
Yeah.
We don't care what it is, lah.
Yeah.
So what are the steps you would recommend for us men to take when we have such emotions?
Before that, right, you also mentioned something very interesting whereby you say whenever people express anger, right, it comes from a place of hurt. Right? So I want you to talk about that a little bit as well. I mean, along with his steps to like
Alright.
being the cool and stoic man.
The coolest thing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of time, if you really look at, like, example right now, I don't know, if right now, you scold him for something, right? Like Gerald scold Jason for something. You get angry over it, right? But think about it, why do you get angry over it? Because potentially most of the time the things that he said was not fair to you, or he hurt you in a particular way. There's always some level of unjust to it,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
And because of that, then there's this feeling of like sadness lah, right?
Yeah.
But we don't get to the feeling of sadness because number one, either we're taught not to feel sad, or number two, we recognize that, but if already you say something to me and if I actually tell you I feel sad, I become more vulnerable right now.
Correct.
That gives you more ammunition not to
attack me.
lord over me or take control over me.
Yeah.
So what we then do is we kind of then come to this place of anger because we feel like
It's like a defense mechanism to like,
exactly.
right,
Correct.
I get it. Yeah.
So it becomes this defense mechanism where I go and shoot over, so I now feel better about it.
Right.
So I feel hurt. I don't know how to express this hurt, but the best way for me to express this hurt, from what I know, is to be angry about it. Which then causes you to be hurt, but then you do not know how to express that hurt, but you're going to get angry about
Hurt
it.
me back.
So it becomes a vicious cycle
Correct.
between the two of us.
Exactly. So this is called a cycle of anger right there. We're just going to keep hurting each other,
Yeah.
but we're not going to say we're hurting each other. We're just going to keep getting angry with each other.
Yes.
So then the whole idea of communicating that is just totally out of the window lah.
Right.
So I think that's something that's important.
Okay. I think that's when like couples argue, right? They just keep saying shit stuff to each other just to like hurt each other.
Right.
Like see who can hurt each other.
It's like the one-up.
Yeah.
I'm going to one-up over you. I'm going to one-up over you. So then you, after what, you even forget what you're really arguing about. What was the point of the argument?
What's the first starting point?
Like, are we trying to find an answer or are we trying to one-up each other?
Yeah, I think that's something that couples should understand that when you argue about something, right, it's not about who can hurt each other more or who is better. You need to solve the fucking problem. Yeah, it's like you're both against the problem, not the problem like fuck you up. I think that's very important. Like you all should solve the problem together, not fighting, not fighting against each
If you
other.
want, but
Yeah. So okay, going back to Gerald's point, right? What are some of the ways that you think, like, it doesn't have to be specific steps, but what are some of the ways that you can do to like manage the anger? Actually?
Yeah.
I think we
How do we prevent the spiral, right, from
Correct.
going higher?
correct.
Yeah.
So remember how we started off with saying that you cannot control your thoughts, you cannot control the feelings, but you can control how you choose to react to your thoughts and to your feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is that in between. It's not like
it's hard.
it is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard, right?
Yeah.
But it's not like I feel anger, I'm going to shout.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not A to B. There's this in between.
Okay.
And
Yes.
the in between is actually starting to recognize it. And it takes a lot of practice, right?
Yes.
Where it comes from a place of where like, okay, I feel this way.
Yeah.
I know this is what I'm going to do. Is that the best way to do it?
Okay.
There needs to be that internal dialogue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes
Okay,
it might
okay.
start off
Yeah.
with, if I'm feeling this particular way and I cannot have this internal dialogue, I need to move away from the situation.
Just move it. Yeah.
I need
away.
to
Exit,
move away
just
from the
exit
situation because
first.
you don't have the space to even think about
Okay.
the internal dialogue. Ma.
Okay, so let's say Jason and I are having this spiral thing. What should I say to him, right, to move away?
Sometimes he'll just even be like, hey man, you know what? It
I'm
sounds
gonna
like
take
a
a
couple
break.
fight, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like a couple fight, right? But
Correct.
just be like, you know what? I'm not going to continue this right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop this
Just take
conversation.
some time to cool off.
Yeah, because if I'm going to continue, there's going to be things I'm going to say or things I'm going to do that's
Yeah,
going to
absolutely
be
right.
harmful to the both of us.
Hey
Yes.
bro, I'm just gonna stop this one because I think whatever I say
you go
next
on,
is
you
gonna piss you off. man.
Okay, you go, no problem.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But
Bye-bye.
you see, it takes a lot of practice, right? And it also sounds damn awkward the first time you do it, right?
No, actually, no.
No?
I absolutely agree. Okay, I mean, this comes along with age and experience, to be honest. I'm not trying to sound like,
Oh my god, now you're old.
yeah, I'm older.
Yeah.
But this is something that I practice with my girlfriends, actually,
Your
because
girlfriends.
I mean, like my ex-girlfriend, girlfriends,
Oh, okay,
whatever,
okay.
ma.
Sorry,
Got
just
girlfriends, ma.
clarify. Yeah.
So like, I used to just explode out whenever I feel like some displeasure or like unjust, whatever you say. I think the feeling of angry is because unjust. You feel like you're being downplayed or whatever, that kind of thing. So whenever last time I would just explode out. I think like, okay, there was example. I say I meet my girlfriend at 12 o'clock, for example. I say, I reached at maybe 11:55. Then she's late. Then I say, if you're not out by 10 minutes, I'm gonna go. That was how I was last time.
Wow.
And she really was late for more than 10 minutes, and I really just went off.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was my reaction to it, which is very asshole lah, to be honest. Yeah, what's wrong with thinking for like a bit more, right? But then again, whatever. So nowadays when I quarrel with my girlfriends or whatsoever, I'll just say like, if it escalates to a point where I feel like I'm gonna say something to really hurt her, like personal stuff, I will just tell her, okay, let's stop talking. Okay, I'm gonna like just cool off a little bit, and you also, so we don't hurt each other anymore.
Yeah.
That's very, very important. Like you need to understand, you need to take time off.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're just gonna escalate more and more. It confirmed 100%. because you build up on your emotions and you just get more and more.
And that same principle needs to be applied for friends as well.
For sure, yeah, for sure.
Right, because I know it's tough because sometimes you just be like, oh, but that's not my girlfriend or my boyfriend, or whatever, right? But it's more of like, that's the principle lies, which is if I'm communicating to you and if you're too angry to understand and I'm too angry to say it properly, that
That's
communication does not make sense.
I like that line. So when I'm very angry and then I say to my wife or my co-founder and I say like, hey bro, or wife, you know, let's take a bit of a break first because I'm worried that whatever I say next might hurt your feelings or piss you off.
Correct.
So it comes from a position whereby I'm taking responsibility for the next few things that's coming out. So I really love that, man.
Well said. And I think that's the thing, right? Because you cannot say like, oh, in a fit of anger, this is what I say.
What you say cannot take back, you know?
Yeah.
You might be in a fit of anger, but who's going to take the responsibility then?
I think the alternate way, which will be to say, okay, I want to take a break from this because I'm worried that what you say is going to hurt my feelings. Okay, so that's no. But if it's the other way around, I'm afraid that what I say will hurt you.
Correct.
So,
I think it's very manly.
Yeah.
It is true. You take responsibility.
We can go as far to say, whatever I say or do will hurt the both of us. Right? Why? Because you might be pissed off with that person and you might say things, but you also will strain the relationship. And doesn't strain the relationship hurt you as well?
Wow, this is something I'll remember, man. Like after
Both
this thing.
Okay. So I think, how to say? I think, so about the anger comes from hurt part. What do you have to say about that?
I think like...
Did you say that already just now? Actually, you did, right? I think I got too carried away.
I think what you meant about being hurt is, what you said just now was that when you feel hurt, you feel vulnerable. So in order to defend that position, right, then you become angry. So like you turn defense into offense.
Right.
So we're all guilty of that, right?
For sure.
Not only for men, like even talked about even for women sometimes they do that as well. So it's something that we gonna, like I said, create the space between feeling angry, being explosive. Can I create the distance? Can I have that internal dialogue?
Can we talk about, so now that we have diffused the situation, but we have not diffused our anger, right? So can we talk about how, what are some of the healthy ways, right, that we can handle the anger before we go back and talk to, before we go back and talk to the other party?
Right.
I think definitely, like, other than, again, the obvious of working out for therapists and that, right, that always comes out. I think there's also ways to always, like we say, take time off, move away from the situation, go and do something at a point of time. Not to do something that makes you relax, right? But just be in a place where take your mind off it and do something else altogether, and then revisit the whole point. Like going back to what is the idea about the whole thing. So usually we are saying that if you are feeling a particular way, feeling a bit of an anger, sometimes some of the best ways to do it is if you're feeling all that intense emotion inside, then work it out. Right? Like sometimes it will really look like I've worked out with clients who has ADHD, which is a ball of energy that's stuck inside them.
Right.
What do? I just say go for a run. Go and run. Just work that energy out so you're in a better headspace to deal with things.
Right.
Because sometimes the emotion might still have like what I call emotional hangover. It's got a lingering feeling, right?
Yes.
So you want to get rid of it as ASAP, as just flush it out of your system. Do something that is active for yourself. Do something that kind of makes you want to move a bit more as well. Because if you're going to do something that's a bit more like, I don't know, like sitting down or chill or whatever, right? It's still going to be there, ma.
I see.
Yeah, so that's one of the ways I find it personally works.
Okay, I think, right, the most important thing is to really address the problem. First of all, you need to understand what is the problem. Like, why are you angry with this person or whatsoever? What's the thing that they say that makes you angry? And why is it they're angry with what this person said? Right? You need to understand that fully. You don't just like mindlessly go and think that, oh, I'm angry, that's it. But why? You need to understand why. Then you need to address the issue with that person, or if it's like an individual issue, you have to address it yourself. So that's the only way you can solve the root of the problem. Because let's say if I agree with you, right, then I just say, okay, let's take a break or whatever, and then I don't come back and talk to you about it. This anger, this residing problem is still in me. And it will never ever be solved. And one day I might just randomly think of this and then I'll be angry again.
That's right.
Right?
Which is why there needs to be a lot of awareness,
Correct.
A lot of reflection, which is the irony, right? Because you're talking about anger, and the very thing to do to solve the anger is the total opposite. You need to be in a state where you can actually be reflective and having awareness.
Correct.
One of the common things that I hear about how to be more aware is to practice meditation. But from a clinical standpoint, right, does that work?
Yeah, it does. Because the idea of meditation or mindfulness, whatever name you want to call it, is, if you look back at the word mindfulness, right, is you slowing down, ma.
Correct.
You taking note of your present and you slowing down. So if that's what helps for you to be more present, to be more focused about the conversations you're having, to be even understand where your anger comes from. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But you cannot meditate when you're angry, lah.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
That'd be interesting, lah.
Wow, if you can do that, you're God. lah. Okay. One more thing I want to talk about, the last thing, right? Okay, is that most of the time, okay, I'm not directing this at women, but women has this, very interesting ability to poke men at the, the most hurtful part that they can. It's true.
Not all women, right?
Okay, not all women, yes, not all
Disclaimer.
women.
Lots
Yeah,
of
there's
disclaimer.
a lot of nice women out there for sure. But from what I experienced, some women actually have this ability to hurt these men in very particular ways. Like they say shit to them that they will really how to say, aggravate the situation.
Can you give some examples?
For sure.
I think it's a lot.
Yeah. So okay. Again, no offense. This is just for discussion's sake. Okay, I must always make some disclaimer. So when I quarrel with my girlfriend, okay, ex-girlfriend, girlfriend, whatever, doesn't matter lah. Let's just say it's my girlfriend. Okay, I quarreled with my girlfriend last time. Okay, and then let me think. Oh yeah, I told her this is what I did for you, X, Y, Z, blah blah blah. How can you say this of me? How can you say that I'm not supportive, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff, right? I'm feeling unjust, right? And then she says this to me. This kind of support, whatever, I can easily find on the streets. She told me that.
I find from another guy lah.
Yeah, not just another guy, easily on the streets with another guy.
Okay.
Okay, it's whatever, she's downplaying my
Yeah, she's
efforts, whatever.
commoditizing your
Yeah,
efforts,
she's downplaying me a lot. Okay, it's not just on the streets, it's just easily on the streets. Okay, so naturally, as a man, my ego and everything, I would feel what the fuck you talking about? Okay, but what I did was I didn't react to it. Okay, I just listened to her. I look at her in a very dumb way. How can you say such a dumb thing? Because I'm confident about myself. This is one thing you need to be sure. You need to be sure that you did whatever you could in the relationship. Okay, you did your best. I know I did my best. Okay, in my own capacity, maybe not towards hers. Okay, but in my capacity, I did my best. So I'm confident that I did the good things for her. So I said sure. I didn't go and oh fuck you bitch, whatever. Go on. I say go ahead. Okay, if you can find, good for you. But I'm pretty sure you can't. Because I know what I can bring to the table. Okay? And I say, how long do you need? You need 3 months? 6 months? Whatever. Okay, you can go ahead, tell me however long you want. Right? And we will see whether I'm still here after that duration. And we will see whether you can find someone during that duration. If you can find someone, good for you. Be with that person. Okay? If you think he can do better than me, good for you. Okay? But let's say if you cannot find and I'm not here already after that duration, then too bad for you. You're left with nothing. So I told her in a very logical way, not reacting to my own emotions or being angry. This is one good way to fire back at someone in a very logical sense, right? I put my point across that you can go. I'm not stopping you, I'm not controlling you. You can go, okay? And I'm not angry over it. I'm being a man. This is what I mean by being stoic. You cannot be angry. It really shows your volume as a man. When a woman quarrels with you. Of course, it's not easy to do this all the time. You get angry. They say shit that really blows you up sometimes, and you really can't control. I know. But most of the time, you need to try and internalize what they say. Why does it make you angry, like what I said, right? Because she downplayed my efforts. So I say to her, okay, you cannot find someone like me. I'm sure. I'm being confident. Right? And I let her do whatever she wants. You can go. The party that's not afraid of losing will always win. Okay, in a relationship. Okay, that's the end of my story. You can have your inputs about my reply. Is it, sensible, good, or whatever,
I think it's again not to judge, right? Not
Sure.
to judge people's actions here. But I think disclaimer again, right?
Yeah.
I think there's nothing. I think I can understand why you did what you did because again, if you look at it, that when she said those words, it undermined you as a person.
Correct.
Undermined your effort, which
Correct.
made you feel a particular way of unjust, which made you feel a particular way of hurt. But at the same time, you decided to process that hurt by not being angry about it,
Correct.
but going back to how you are being assured of your role in the relationship.
That's right.
right? So you knew who you are in the relationship.
That's right.
You know your efforts, and you decided to stick by it in that sense. And I think that is a great step in that sense.
Okay.
I think it could even be even be more helpful. Not that I'm giving relationship advice for free here,
Yep.
but what would be more helpful is that to even talk about it, like just so you know, when you say but this, that is how I feel, right?
Yeah.
Because why am I going down that route is because if men are only known to be showing anger, women are known to have the idea of accessing the full spectrum of it, right? So let's speak in a language that they understand then,
Okay.
which is emotion. If we were to actually articulate that, when you speak this way, this is how I felt. Would you have liked it if I was to say that to you?
Usually they cannot feel it.
Really?
Yeah. They will feel like they say the right things or at that moment or they
Yeah.
did the right things.
Yeah.
I did tell her that actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did tell her like, you know, you saying this right really like discounted my efforts and everything. You know that I did this for you. You
And-
understood it, right?
And how
you
did she
felt
respond?
it. She never responded anything.
But that itself is a response, ma?
But that's true.
Yeah.
So the fact that you didn't respond to anything about it was itself a response, because I'll be very interested to find out what does that silence mean,
Correct.
right? Was that a silence of acknowledgement?
Yeah.
Was that a silence of shame? Was that a silence of rejecting what I just said?
Yeah.
So actually, that silence did speak very loudly,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, that's just something
Okay.
to think about.
Yeah. You want to say something, right?
So if I was her girlfriend, right,
Yeah.
I will also be very angry with what you just said. Because
Point, bro.
Oh, that's not.
No.
Because
Okay.
there was something along the lines, if
Yeah.
I can find someone like you, then go ahead.
Yeah.
So I will feel very angry because that means my value to you is not that high. Anytime you want me to go, I can go. So now, right, I think we must use what Andrew has taught us.
Okay.
So after you tell that to me, assuming I'm your girlfriend,
Yes.
I should say, okay,
Shoot. Shoot.
I'm sorry, okay, but I would like to take a break from this because I think whatever that I say is gonna be bad for the both of us in the next 5 minutes.
Yo, you know, most of the time, okay, I fully agree with you, bro.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
most of the time is like they don't really see it this way as for the females because they always find that they will always validate what they say. They always have a reason why they say they think is right. Yeah, so the man should be the man and step up and say this, like, let's take a break. Yeah, for me, let's say at the moment, right, she's gonna come back at me more, right, I will say this already. Because I already put my point across. Like, you want to fight, go and fight. If she want to come back, I'll be like, okay, let's take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's it.
Yeah, what do you think, man?
Yeah.
I think sometimes, maybe they themselves, again, not every woman is like that, right? But sometimes they
Be
themselves
very
not.
careful.
Yeah. I have to be very careful, right? Because I work with a lot of different type of people, so I can understand from different perspectives.
Right.
I think even if they were to say such things, and even if they're going to be relentless about it, then we just have to put our foot down and set the boundaries,
Correct. Yeah.
right? Because again, boundaries is to protect them and to protect us, ma.
Correct.
So put down and set the boundaries, lor.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna end off with a question from the viewer. So to Andrew, what are the types of anger? Is there anger from hurt, anger from humiliation, etc.? Do different types of anger require different diagnosis?
Okay. I think not really. I think anger is anger. It might have come from different places, but usually it's still around the same form.
Fundamentally, it's the same.
Fundamentally, it's about the same. So I think it also depends from person to person how they deal with anger.
Correct.
Some people I know, like I say, will just go and run out, exercise. Some people just go and start playing online games. You know, different people have different ways of managing
Handling,
it.
yeah.
But I think it's always going back to, I don't think there's any diagnosis for anger unless talking about like explosive personality disorder or something.
Yeah,
That's like a whole different ball game.
Right.
But I think anger is normal. Anger is common. You are not mentally ill for being angry.
Yeah.
But just be aware how you express that anger.
Correct. Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Okay, so I think let's end off today's topic, right? I think anger, like what we all have agreed, right, is a feeling that you have to be very aware of. Like what we said just now. Like you have to be aware, why are you angry? You have to sit back, take a step back and think, why are you angry? And then deal with that problem. Okay, like what we have said, right? Be stoic about it, which is understand the situation, process it, and think about how you want to do about this situation, and not
how hard it is.
correct. Yeah, no matter how hard it is, if you need time, just go and take some time,
Yeah.
right? And then don't react immediately. That's the most important thing. Don't react immediately. Although it's very hard. I mean, I could not have done it sometimes as well, but don't react
Same.
immediately. Correct. Yeah. We're not God or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't react immediately. Like, you know, when you say something, right, I just immediately, hey, fuck you. No, don't. Yeah, I just feel like, I want to say maybe, then, okay, maybe not, you know, it's like that kind of thing like that. So just chill a little bit. Because honestly, right, like we have discussed, being angry does you no good. Nothing, there's no benefit to it. Yeah, the only benefit you have is that you express, you fuck the person up, you hurt the person, you feel good at that moment. Seriously, after a while you think back, right, you will think that, hey, actually I shouldn't have said this.
Yeah, there's more damage done.
Correct. Why do I hurt this person? Actually, I love this person. This is my friend. This is my girlfriend. Why do I say such a fucked up thing to her or him or whatever?
Yeah.
And they will think the same thing as well. So why go through this stupid process? Just take time off and then like internalize why, and then be a man and then step up to it and then deal with the situation. Okay, and deal with your anger. Okay. Anything to add on?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good,
very good. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so with that, right, we come to the end of today's episode. Okay, I hope you learned something from it about being angry and how to manage it. Okay, as a man, you should do something more. Okay, because you're the man, right, to manage your anger. So if you like our content, like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye bye. Awesome.